So, so moving on to the next fight. The first thing between Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda is, did you agree with the scorecards? I've heard a lot of people saying it wasn't that wide. What did you make of the final scorecards? True reflection of the fight? Mustafa, you want to go first?
I think the wide they were a little too wide. Zepeda did win a few more rounds than that. But Shakur clearly won the fight. I mean, he clearly won. But that 119, 109, I was like, he won more than one round.
That's one of Roy Jones. That's one of Roy Jones. Roy Jones on the 90s cards.
You know what I'm saying? He won at least 3 rounds.
Yeah. That's fair.
And I'm a purist too. I like the pure boxing.
Right. But you fair. Despite what people may think.
He fought hard. He did the best he could do. And honestly, not many people fight hard. Zepeda's gift is he doesn't get frustrated.
Yeah. He stayed the course.
Many people get frustrated. And when you fight the guy and you miss it, you get backed up and you get in like flustered. Many guys, you see him, but Shakur fought Oscar Valdez. Valdez clearly was frustrated, complaining to the ref, all of that. Zepeda did none of that ever. Zepeda stayed the course the whole fight. So let's give the guy some credit. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
He was true to himself.
Agreed.
Whether you might say it's not good or good, like Benavidez, he may not be the most pure as a boxer. He may be. I don't put nobody above Benavidez at 175, 168. He can arguably beat any one of them because that style is hard to do. Somebody in your face 12 rounds in a row. Never getting discouraged. Punch you in your arms. You know what time to pay the jab Shakur bicep?
And they taught that. They train on that. They work on that.
Of course they do. Like
they work on that.
I'm gonna smoke him. I'm gonna swarm him out. So again, give him some credit. The guy fought well for what he could do, you know. And like I was at 9-3, maybe 8-4, but he definitely won more than one round, you know. But Shakur clearly won the fight. But that was probably Shakur's toughest fight to date. It has to be, but was it? 100% yes, it was.
It's the hardest style to fight against, isn't it? That pressure they bring, non-stop pressure. It's the hardest. They make you fight at a much faster pace than the average fighter is going to gas out when you forced to work out a faster rate.
Not allowing you to rest.
Yeah.
But the thing, go ahead, please. I'm sorry.
I know you can go. I have nothing else to add. You want to add to it, Coltrane?
About the scores?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't move. I looked at that fight like Cotto and Mayweather, where it was a competitive 9-3, 8-4 fight. There was, because remember Floyd got his nose busted up in that fight, and he's fighting Cotto, a future Hall of Famer, former multi-world champion. So you're gonna get hit. I think fans get so fixated with the defensive whole thing. Like, just because you're a defensive fighter don't mean you're not going to get hit. It's a boxing match. You're going to get hit, But to Moon point, he never got. That's the thing about guys like the Antonio Margaritas, despite the whole hand wrap debacle. Paul Williams is with the world. The Zepeda types. These guys are going to constantly continue to apply pressure without getting discouraged, and they're gonna hit whatever's available. Because that's what you tort that way. Punch whatever's available. Arms, shoulders, gloves, whatever. And hopefully you can bring the fighter down. But it was to me, Shakur clearly won 8 rounds. If you want to give Zepeda 4, I have no quarrels with that. But when he got caught with the jab and had to catch himself, in my opinion, he never lost a round after that. Like, he went to work at the
Zepeda right-handed southpaw.
Mm-hmm.
So that's his power punch.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the whole fight, Shakur was precise, composed. He didn't run. People were saying he's going to move around a lot. He didn't. He pretty much stood in front of him a lot of the time. How much do you think these rumors of the retractable ring and all this Tom and Jerry talk, how much do you think that had an effect on Shakur's game plan? Do you think he was pressured, maybe mentally a bit pressured to trade a little bit more than he wanted to? What do you think about that? Coltrane, you want to go first?
Let me just say something real quick about the ring. And Coach Lou will appreciate this. I never forget, I was coaching youth basketball, and I come from an urban culture. This game we was going to was in a suburban community. So in those suburban communities, they got what they call half moon courts. And one of the kids, well, a lot of the kids was like, "Oh man, we got to play on these half moon courts." You know what this kid told me? He said, "Bro, you can hoop. You can hoop. It don't matter what court you hoop on." And he gave confidence to the other team, but that statement he made me start thinking about boxing when people complain about ring sizes. We always resort back to boxing, whatever conversation we're in, right? We always spin it back to boxing. So this whole ring, I tell people this all the time. It doesn't matter what size the ring is. If you can box, you can box. If you move around or if you stay in front of your opponent, they're not going to be able to find you. If you know how to box and you're a defensively responsible fighter, no matter what size the ring is, because if you're in front of them, they're not going to be able to hit you. If you move around, they're not going to be able to hit you. So I don't really think that really plays a part in anything. Where it becomes problematic is when you start offering incentives and bonuses for knockouts. Because now, you guys like to get paid too because it's called prize fighting. So now that puts the pressure on these guys to try to play into a more barbaric style of boxing. Nothing wrong. Listen, I can like the science and I can like toe-to-toe action, but if you're a technical defensive fighter, I believe you should fight your fight game and not a game to try to appease some narrative out there. What was it? The whole Tom and Jerry thing. So, and I'll let Coach Lou speak a little bit more on this because he's a lot more passionate with this subject. But when you have these narratives, defensively minded as a guy like Shakur is, you do sometimes question during a fight, well, damn, is he allowing his stuff to be opened up more because he trying to debunk this whole narrative of this whole Tom and Jerry thing, or is he setting traps like a rope-a-dope type of thing, And I'm not talking about just being on the ropes. I'm talking about period. So I don't know. It's a tricky question because the narrative is out there. This whole Tom and Jerry thing. The guy that's writing the checks has been very adamant about smaller rings. He even talked about it for the Bud and Canelo fight, but I'll let Mood talk about what he saw as far as Shakur maybe taking more hits than he would have liked in this fight, trying to appease the fan base.
Stage is yours, Mustafa.
I was literally watching the fight why is he doing this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know why he's doing this. He's only human. And everyone talking this nonsense. The guy who got the money in boxing talking the same nonsense. So it's he's only human. So now I'm gonna show you that I'm a dog. We know you're a dog. Shakur came up in the American boxing what? He couldn't be something to do what he did. He would have been. I thought he wasn't tough. You got nothing, but some calves or whatever. It's I got to show them, and it's like I say, it's almost like a misnomer that honestly Shakur could have went out there and I would have loved to see him strip Zepeda down and just make him look like a fool, which he could do, but to make y'all happy, to make the people whatever. Get a little bit more excitement. I gotta get hit. I gotta get bruised. I gotta get swollen up for y'all to be entertained. And that's
crazy.
It's crazy, but gotta make money. I guess gotta. You know what I'm saying? You saw him by the fight, emotional because that's I could see it wears on you, and it's wrong. I'm gonna tell you why it's so wrong. I got two guys in my gym. They blood brothers, same mother, same father. They are completely different. One of them is a natural born counterpuncher. He cannot fight going forward. I tell him, go get him. He's horrible. He gasses out. He makes big mistakes. He's trash at stepping. When I got that back like being cool, oh my man, he looked like Buddy McGurk. He looks phenomenal. He 5', he's short like Buddy too. He looks good. His brother is like Benavidez, much taller, got asthma and everything. he throws punches like Zepeda and Benavidez. Imagine Benavidez trying to be a pure boxer. He would not be Benavidez anymore. He would be a less version of himself. You gotta let people be who they are. He may want to be a slick boxer, but that's not what he is. Shakur is not a killer. He ain't a one boomerang. No, he's gonna break you down round by round, and you're gonna quit or just get beat up all night long. That's what he is, and he is one of the best at it. Maybe the best at it right now in boxing. Like, instead of criticize, appreciate what he is. Okay, he's not this, but he's this. He's not Abdullah Mason. He's not the biggest puncher. He's not Tank. He's not Terrence. But what he is very, very special. Zepeda is special at what he does. Everyone is special in their own way. And that's what we gotta get to, is that, come on, man. Like that's wrong, because again, what would have been better is, can the other guys come with a game plan to stop Shakur's specialness? Instead of Shakur
hold up, let me just piggyback on something.
Go ahead, Chad.
So, Moo, you brought up a very interesting point, right? And I always tell people this, right? Because people get so upset. You can't talk any sports, specifically boxing, without social commentary, right? And this is how the world is, because race, politics, it finds its way into, because these are nothing but vehicles to drive people agendas sometimes. And you brought up something interesting. You said nobody asked Zepeda to fight like Shakur. And that's a deep, profound statement that you made, because nobody's asking Zepeda also to fight like Dan Rodriguez or vice versa. Nobody draws a parallel with those two, but they'll draw a parallel with Shakur and Gervonta Davis. And I just feel like there's a stigmatism, and it's been plaguing this sport forever, because a lot of the people that has voices, powerful voices, put a lot of this stuff, this rhetoric out there, and it's dangerous, where a black fighter is it's true, they're held to a different set of standards when it comes to fighting.
Well, why do you think that is?
Well, this goes back to the black murderers, Charles Brooklyn. You got to go back so many years ago where this particular style was exiled and outcast, and they just said it wasn't sellable.
Because if he do, he won't lose. Those guys can't compete with him.
And yeah, they can't. The style was
if
like Gypsy Joe Harris, right? Gypsy Joe Harris out of Philly, who it's not a lot of footage on this guy, right? They called him a clown because he was clowning people. He had this unique style. It's funny because I said Jahai Tucker reminds me of Gypsy Joe Harris, the way he fights. But you had a guy like him who promoters was like, we're not putting our fighters nowhere near this guy because he's not taking the sport serious, because he's a defensive, slippery, crafty fighter. So we want guys that's going to lay it all out on the line and give us more. That's how long this stuff been around. You fast forward to Pernell Whitaker. I grew up in the Pernell Whitaker era. I don't need to read no books. I don't need to watch YouTube. I watch guys like Freddie Pacheco and Gil Clancy, all these old school commentators talk down on this man's fight game. And when he forced Chavez and made him walk backwards, they give him a draw instead of a decision. But yet, all that running and all that type of talk, it went out the window. Like, nobody talked about that then. But same thing with Floyd. Like, these narratives has been plaguing the sport forever, but it's always black fighters that's held to certain standards when it comes to boxing. We always got to fit a certain narrative. Why can't, like you said, we just fight the style that's beneficial to us?
And then the best man wins. You know what
I'm
saying? Right. You know, because guess what? Again, Benavidez, he don't care you boxing. He gonna come get you. We saw him fight Caleb Plant. Like, it's on you to go get them. Not you have to pipe down to match their level. You know, if anything, be better at cutting the ring off. Be better at
like
Zepeda did a lot of good things. Zepeda put to the farmer. We had a great camp. Zepeda did a lot of great things. And look at the fight of the night. Zepeda did good.
And he gave Shakur his props. Like, and my thing is, he, like you said, was a great point. He stayed the court. He didn't complain and be like, Oh, well, all he did was grab me and move around. Like,
but man, grab you, get out the grab.
Yeah, grab him back.
That's a real, but reverse the clinch. That's a real skill.
Reverse, yep. Hit him low back. That's how I was taught. That's the boxing I came up under.
That's what I say to my guys.
Yeah, hit him low, hit him back.
Yes.
But yeah, it's just a shame though. We can't have like really good boxing diet. And I always say this. I say you go on my page, you go on Mustafa page, you go on your page. We got a variety of fighters that we cover on our all different walks. But if I go and with all due respect, if I go on some of these, and I ain't gonna get into what ethnic group, but if I go on their page, it's all their people on their page. But yet the minute that I bring a conversation up like this, why are you guys talking about race? We got probably the most diverse three of the most diverse boxing pages right here together on this page.
You know why?
We never know.
We're not covering the UK fighters or American fighters. We covering the purity of boxing.
The purity of sport. I don't care where you from.
Race, your weight class. You go out there look. I said who's best fighter in the world 2 years ago. I thought who's the number one fighter in the world. When you do good, and I'm gonna say, yo, this anyway, the boy sharp, man. I don't care what race he is, man. He earned his stripes. Usyk earned his stripes.
Bad man right there.
Those are good. I don't care about black or you my race, but a lot of people have little agendas in their mind, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The preconceived notion that you're never going to give a certain fighters your props because you gotta follow an agenda.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting what you said, Coltrane, because obviously I'm not wise to a lot of this. I'm not from the US.
Yeah.
But when you mentioned, you talk about Canelo and Salvador Sanchez, these guys are praised because they don't fight like a typical Mexican, and they introduced some of the American slickness. So it's funny. It's ironic you said that because if someone else incorporates the sort of, as the breadman calls it, this sort of black urban style, they get praised for incorporating that into their style and improving upon their game. But then you're saying you guys are criticized for using too much of that style. Like Pernell Whitaker, like I say, I also grew up in the same period. So yeah, it's
who did Reynoso said he watched video of? James Toney. This is what his coach said, not me. This came from Reynoso's mouth. I mean, it was translated, so I'm hoping it was translated properly. He said, I didn't know about James Toney. I didn't grow up being taught about him.
With Nacho and Floyd. Nacho said Floyd was the perfect fighter.
That's right. It's just, but we compare Shakur. I'm like, why can't Shakur and Gervonta be both great? We don't do this. And again, I keep bringing up Bam Rodriguez. Bam Rodriguez, his fight game was on a whole nother level. I don't know who he fight. I don't even have a style to describe for his style. But nobody's comparing him to nobody within his own ethnic group. Like he's not being compared. Oh, well, such and such is a better fighter. Or let's say Brado Valenzuela. Both of them are not being compared to each other. But when it comes to black fighters, we held to certain standards, and it's not cool.
Very interesting conversation, that is. So, I mean, Shakur always looks very cool and composed. He's in the pocket. He looks like he can see everything. Other fighters use the same tactics and look rushed. What is Shakur's secret to looking so relaxed? Because we know, I'm not going to say names, but I've seen fighters try to use that same style, moving around, try to turn guys, and they end up getting tired because they always look rushed when they're fighting that style. But guys like Shakur and Pernell Whitaker as well, they always look so composed too. Is this just a unique sort of gift they have, or is this something else at play here?
Some things coaches can't teach.
Yeah. Thank you, Moo, because I always say that and catch backlash for this.
Yeah, same there. I said that, yeah.
They are not magicians. Coaches, they just help fighters. Like this kid, I go Troy Nash. Man, inshallah, you'll see some. 19 years never flustered.
Never flustered, never phased.
Cool. You can't.
That's a gift. That's a gift from above. Yeah.
That is not the coach talking to him. No. Cool under fire.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's a very, very. He only looked a little befuddled when Dos Santos, and the grandpop kept saying, "Stop pulling back, Shakur."
Yeah,
because he knew Shakur was smart enough to stay inside and neutralize the Santos power, you know. But those guys are still growing. You know what I'm saying?
They
They're
still learn,
still
and that was and Santos a tough. I don't think he was
yes.
tough. He's a tough. He's a tough
Southpaw
out.
versus Southpaw. If we know,
Yeah,
if you anybody who's boxing, two Southpaws are very rare to fight each other.
it's a bad style match. I always that was a bad. It's a bad
You know what
blend.
I'm saying?
Open.
Plus, you got a bad hand. Plus, he hit hard. So it's
He
like
hit
you
hard.
got
He was punching through his hands. He
yeah,
said, and
you
he said
got
he hit him
three
back
things
in
that
the head.
go, three things is going against him, and he still goes out there and wins. Was his best performance? No, was not. But we've seen all of our legends have mediocre nights. We've just
Yes.
seen Magic over Crawford. We just saw that fight.
Yeah.
Now some say Crawford ain't good no more because they don't know boxing. Styles make fights. Some guys can fight 10 times, and all 10 times will be close fights.
Yeah. Look at
Bivol and Baturbiev, they will always probably go down to the wire each time they fight.
Mm.
Ray Robinson and Gene Fullmer,
yeah.
Ali and Joe Frazier. You know what I'm saying? Those type of fights. Ray, Ken Norton and Larry Holmes and Shavers.
Herrera
Those,
Morales. Like
those are gonna always be
yeah.
nobody. They cannot like take off on each other. Those are going to be very competitive. But what that gives Shakur, that poise he has, that cool in the fire, that's not taught.
Yeah, I mean, Coltrane, you mentioned catching fire for these things. I remember posting a clip recently about Sugar Ray Leonard against Roberto Duran, and now Leonard threw a combination at Duran, whilst Duran was throwing punches at him, threw and caught him with 2 or 3 punches mid combination. And I said, these are things you can't teach, but yeah, caught flag for it. But yeah, these are things I don't
Cannot
think.
teach that stuff.
Yeah,
And some people are like children, and when they're in school, they might, hey, they'll tap them on the shoulder, like, hey, we need the guidance counselor want to talk to you. They want to put you in a different class because you're mentally gifted, right? Fighters are just some guys are blessed with IQs that this is God given. Same way talent is God given ability. Some certain talent, so is the brain, the IQ.
Yes.
It's more developed.
And that's what. Okay, think about something. Think about all the guys. Think about Devin, Abdullah Mason. You could think about Shakur, Ryan, Teo. Shakur has the least out of all those guys athletic qualities.
Yeah.
Don't have long arms. Does not have a lot of power.
I think even might be faster than Shakur, speed wise.
Yes, I think so. But now,
yeah.
what did Almighty Allah give him? I think it's here.
Yeah.
He's
what it comes down to.
Very, very cerebral. He's very smart. He's very inquisitive in the ring. And he's a nightmare. And now again, to ask anyone from the amateurs, and Bill Haney said this, Shakur was the creme de la creme guy. He was the man for years.
That's what I heard from everybody that's here.
I was with all the trials. Shakur was the guy. He was the man from. He been like that. So he might not have it all on athletic abilities,
right?
But Shakur is he's a master in that, man. You know, he's very good. It'll take a very good fighter to beat him.
So Coltrane, from Shakur's performance, did he look more like classic Mayweather or an evolved version of Crawford? Especially those mid-fight sort of adjustments he makes. He took over towards the later part of the fight. How do you compare those then?
Like I was saying earlier, the fight was kind of reminiscent of Floyd versus Cotto. Like, I try to be careful with these parallels. Like I was telling this guy at the fight, Shakur's going to be a fake James Toney. I'm like, first of all, it's James. You gotta remember, James. You guys know James Toney and Mayweather. You'll probably never see this type of talent. And it's not a knock to Shakur. It's just that these guys are on just a different level. Like it's almost like. Yeah, it's almost like it's not human, almost. Like we probably won't see it in our lifetime again. So I try to not get carried away with these parallels. Only thing I said about Shakur, right now, out of the current crops of fighter, he's the most defensively responsible fighter we have in our game today. Like he always, even when he's in the pocket, whatever he's doing, he always got his ear to that phone. You watch all these clips and highlights of him turning Zepeda, even when he gets caught or if he let the shot off, the ears to the phone. He's keeping his glove connected to his face, protecting himself, as they say at all times. But I just think that like the fight itself, it was so much crafty stuff going on. The arm locks. The average fan is not seeing that. Like him locking up Zepeda arm, when they got in close proximity in the middle of the ring, using his shoulder as a snowplow. Like you can use your shoulder as a jab. A lot of people don't know that, but you can. You got to be crafty with it so you don't get warned by the refs for doing it. This is all, when I use the word slickness, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. It's funny. Bernard was sitting ringside, right? He was at the fight.
He loved what you call.
Him and Oscar, them guys, they from that cloth. They, Zepeda's their fighter, but they know Zepeda couldn't be Shakur. But, at the end of the day, they're from that cloth that we're talking about. So Bernard had to love this because Bernard stayed positioning people with his shoulder. So the shoulder positioning is so crafty because, for one, it tires the guy out. It frustrates the guy. And it's a way to, like, I'm going to move you and position you in places where I want you to go.
I said, put him where you want to put him at.
Put him where you want to put him. You saw James Toney will put his head in people's chest. Like, there's so many different variations of it. But, like, he was on the ropes. I know Ward and Bud didn't want him on the ropes. But I felt like, and I remember something Bill Miller said about James Toney, like, sometimes that ropes, it saved him. It saved him because if you get caught with a shot, the ropes can keep you held up. And I just felt like giving the opponent, because people don't like giving the opposition credit. He was fighting a guy that threw a lot of punches. So that was his way of kind of like tapering Williams and paid off, because Robico was such an overused term, but there was some of that in there where like, all right, let him burn himself out, punch himself out, and then I'm going to go to work from there. And he was leveling. This is the thing about being in a role, right, that people don't understand. And I was saying this in a Lamont Roach and Tank fight. I said, there's different variations of it. You're going to see people perfect it a lot differently. But the whole thing is I'm going to level off the velocity of these shots, no matter what it looks like. So him turning and rolling, Zepeda was hitting arms and gloves. Maybe he was touching Shakur here and there in his face, but he was leveling these shots off. So they didn't have the same velocity they would have against another opponent. But I just felt like Shakur was in control of this fight. He never lost, other than that third round where he got caught with the jab. It was all balanced, a good shot. I don't even care about that. You get caught. Everybody get caught in boxing. Like Coach Moo always say, all the special ones been caught before. It's about adjusting from that point on. You have an adjustment game. And he adjusted after that. And the fight to me was he just, beat him up in the middle of the ring via the body. The 1-2, going back to the Cotto Mayweather fight, the around the ear shot, which is the whooping hook behind the ear, beautiful shot. It was just a great variation of boxing, but the defensive mechanics, especially him switching from shoulder roll to going into a high guard in the middle of the ring, like this is the type of stuff that people don't talk, because we talk about offense a lot, but there's the defensive aspect of this. Like him muffing up in the middle of the ring, going to Zepeda body, the stab, jab, like all this stuff is frustrating, to the opposition. I just thought it was a beautiful display of boxing. It was supposed to be a tough fight because every fight ain't supposed to be easy. So this is what boxing is supposed to be about.
So was there anything Zepeda could have done differently? Sounds like it was almost on a losing cause there, but was there anything he could have done differently to sort of take the win, or do you see anything he could have capitalized on? Something different he could have done?
He is like Moose said, you can't change who he is. He's a straightforward pressure fighter. If he start trying to like throw jabs and trying to set up his shots, then Shakur really would have picked him apart. That was the best thing he could have done.
We fought him with Tevin. We fought him twice. And in the second fight, in the first round, Zepeda started boxing. And I'm like, what? He must be crazy.
He did.
The first fight, Tevin dropped him, so I'm thinking maybe he might go ahead now and try to become a boxer. That'd be a mistake. But second round, he came back out there like a rocket. So maybe they probably got him that call, like, what you do tripping? You know what I'm saying? Be you, And he did what he did. But yeah, I was like, he better not try to box because he's not good at sitting on the back, now
Yeah.
saying jab, trying to set certain shots up. And so I tell a lot of people, some people cannot do that. That is very difficult. They just swarm you and they're very good at it. And some are natural, selected, calm, calculated fighters, you know. But that's not what Zepeda does. Zepeda is very good at smoking you out, running you over.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things. So sorry, carry on, Coltrane.
No, I was just going to say, I know one of the things I personally would have liked to see Shakur do was Shakur got one of the best probing jabs in boxing. You know, very Larry Holmes. The way he probes is he didn't probe a lot, but I think because I always try to and I'll let Coach move. Try to lean some
I think it's because of the critics. They would say
what you say?
if he did that. Because of the critics. I think he did
Yeah, I was
that
about to. I wanted to see more of that. Yeah,
Shakur, I'm pretty sure Shakur is. I know Shakur could have easily neutralized all of that stuff that he even got caught with. But because you can frame guys, you can Shakur. You see Shakur do things other guys that he did disappear. That he didn't do the other night. It wasn't because Zepeda did something new. Zepeda did nothing new. I think Shakur decided to engage a little bit more.
engage more. He made it a more yeah. He made it a more close proximity fight.
Yeah, entertaining fight for them.
Entertainment.
Yeah, hey, one of the things I look at if I'm studying a fighter is first one I look at is his hand position. Where is his hands when he's throwing punches? Where is his hands when he finishes combinations? Where is his hands when he's defending? I think Zepeda, what I noticed of him was that his right hand was dropping a lot during combinations, at the end of the combination, and if he was defending multiple punches, his right hand was dropping again. Against someone like Stevenson, you're not going to be a surgical counter puncher. Exactly. Someone precise Stevenson, he's not going to beat him. But anyone else, it's going to be tough for them to overcome that pressure of Zepeda because there's just so much coming at you. You can't always see that. But Stevenson, like, he's got that special gift. He was able to see that and just continuously capitalize on it. But
you know what he does too? Again, this is so people get mad, but this is a part of boxing. I keep going back to Bernard, but Bernard always did stuff on the blind side of the referee, especially like borderline low blow shots, like the hip shots, right?
Yeah, the video I made against Trinidad, punching the hips. Yeah,
Shakur was punching. There was some of it was borderline, but it's again when you doing it with a right, it breaks him down, and the ref is on the other side, so he can't see what's in front of him.
Now you got 10. Now you got round 10, 11, and 12, and it's going to be a coast walking the.
Amen. Yep.
Yeah, man. I tell my guys all the time, if the guy's moving too much, throw that right hook at the hip.
Yeah, throw it at the hip. Slow it down. You know what I'm saying? That's a joint. That's a major joint right there, the hip shot, so.
Yeah, one of the videos I made, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, he punched Marvin Johnson there, and Johnson fell over. His leg gave way because there's a major nerve there, so he couldn't stand straight. Yeah. Okay.